story and how you ended up at Morehouse in Atlanta, and what it's like to have your grandmother as president of Liberia.
All right. Growing up, I grew up for the most part in Africa, and when I was 12 years old, I moved over to the U.S. when I was in eighth grade, and at that time my grandma was there because my grandma wasn't the president; she was in exile. She was in the Ivory Coast, and I lived with her for about 3 years before I moved to the U.S. And just just watching the struggle we went through when she wasn't the president and living in Liberia and coming to the U.S. and realizing the opportunity that I could have here and go to school and go to some of the best school in the U.S. And then going back home when she became president, seeing the development and the progress the changes she having in daily lives because she's focused on education for the most part, especially girls' education. Because Liberia during the Civil War, most of the girls' tribes, like most of the boys were they were rebels, child soldiers, and so now you have like a huge population of girls in the country, but they are not educated. So my grandma is like focused on that to educate them because those are there's a last generation and those girls she's just trying to develop them, and I kind of relate to that because even though I went to school here, but I still, when I go back, I kind of relate to them because we are about the same age. And I'm looking at them like, yes, they have the potential to do something better. And that's what inspired me. And that's why I think my grandma is inspired to help them. And that's my story. Their story is my story. So I kind of represent them here by doing the best I can in America to get the best education, to do the best I can, because my final mission is to go back home and try to help the cause and try to help them, educate them, and give them the opportunity that they deserve.
So in other words, is there an imbalance between male and female now because so many people died in the war?
Yeah, there's an imbalance because a lot of the males right now, around my age, are either not educated or ex-combatant. So they have to go through another process like rehabilitation and stuff like that. And for them, they're a lost generation. They're never going to recruit. So the only thing they could do is go through trade school, and try to get special skills and stuff like that. But for the women, they could actually go through education. You could put them through schools and through school for them to learn. But the men's, they're all grown. You can't educate them no more, but you could give them special skills that are needed. That's why we need companies to go to Liberia to help train them so they can provide the labor needed to help foster development in the country.
What's your vision for the country? What do you see it as being 20 years from now? In other words, what would you hope that would be?
20 years from now, I would like to see the education sector in Liberia improved in terms of the young kids, in terms of kids 3, 4 years old. 20 years from now, I would like to see them actually, for all the programs my grandma's put into place right now in terms of education, and they could go through the process. 20 years from now, I would like to see a lot of children graduating and stuff like that. Just recently, they opened a new university in partnership with the Chinese government, the Findel University. It's a state-of-the-art university. It just got built. They just cut the ribbon for it, and that was nice to see that happen in the country.
And I know that you majored in finance at Morehouse. Can you talk a little bit about how that might be used in Liberia? Because I know that finance has got to be crucial.
Yeah, I mean, finance it is crucial. Part of the reason why Liberia sunk into a civil war was mainly because of mismanagement. And right now, my grandma's job, or in terms of any leader will take over after her, need to understand the importance of financial management in terms of how to manage the debt they take on the country and how to process their debt. Because recently the World Bank just relieved Liberia of their debt, and that gave them the opportunity to get the financial house into place. And so her job going forward, or the job going forward from now on, is to make sure whatever debt they take into the country is well financed, and everything is well financed, and they have things in place that will help them to be able to manage their financial and their budget and everything in the country.
Is it tempting sometimes to say, well, I'll just stay in the United States and get a job on Wall Street or something like that? I mean, with all the wealth and everything that we have here and the conveniences, are you ever tempted as a young person just to say, well, I'll make my career here and not go back?
I am. It's easy to get tempted because, you know, like, if growing out of college, graduating from Morehouse, I could go to Wall Street and make $60,000 a year. But then, like, if I go to Liberia, I miss less than that, you know. But it's not about the money. It's about the value you're going to add to somebody else's life who doesn't have that experience that you have, or who never went through that development stage that you already went through, and you see that disadvantage, and you know you can improve their life because you know what you already know. And so the monetary value is not as important compared to, like, the development value you could add to a young person's life. So that's what I went, and that's why I became part of her mission.
Can you talk a little bit about working with Cynthia and what you learned and what you're doing?
Working with Cynthia, I just started about maybe two and a half weeks ago, and what she's teaching me is, like, she got different initiatives, all her different initiatives, and I'm going to meeting with her, taking notes, and all the different things that she's doing, taking note of it, and kind of analyzing it, and kind of like to add value to her in terms of taking notes, writing up whatever I took notes with, and that's pretty much for now what I'm doing. Maybe there'll be more to come later on. That's it.
Do you foresee possibly having a diplomatic career yourself at all?
Not right now, but I want to go through the experience to just go through the experience to accept it for what it is. And my mind might change because I never been a diplomatic person, and I always been like a financial person. So going through this process might change my heart or might change my mind. I might get connected to something that we worked on, and I feel like that's my passion, and I'm just going to go along with it.
In partnership with Morehouse College, we've been working with Morehouse College and Georgia State University. We have launched this program. Melvin and Sirleaf and Glenn Harris are my first two inaugural students to participate. And Melvin, in addition to coming with me to some various meetings, he will also, last night, for example, he represented me at the Independence Day celebration for one of the diplomats. And so he'll go to these events for me. He'll have an opportunity to shake hands and share business cards, and also to be able to have the conversation and dialogue. I think it's important to expose young people, because the one thing I have learned here in the state of Georgia alone, there are about 74 honorary consuls and consul generals here in Georgia. I'm the only African American female, and there are very few Africans who are in the diplomatic corps. So I'm very sensitive to that. I'm trying to fill the pipeline of young people, of underserved populations into this framework. And I think that he'll serve excellently this summer, and hopefully take this skill set and perhaps do something very promising, which I know he will, to make a difference in his country and throughout the world.